Do you know Bill Watterson? Bill Watterson is a cartoonist. You can see an example of his most famous cartoon here called Calvin and Hobbes. He's an American cartoonist from, I guess he was popular maybe 20, 30 years ago. I think he's retired now. He's still alive, as far as I know. Anyway, he gave some advice at a commencement ceremony. Commencement ceremony is when, especially in America, students graduate from university, and usually they get a famous person to come and talk. It's where Steve Jobs says, "Always be hungry," or something. But anyway, so they get somebody famous to come and talk, and this is from I can't remember which university, and I can't remember what where I found it on the internet, but it's some career advice by Bill Watterson, who's a cartoonist. I'll just show you the cartoon here if I zoom in. Here's Calvin and Hobbes. One of them is that Hobbes, and that's Calvin. Anyway, it's him it's the boy with his imaginary friend Tiger, toy Tiger. And he says, "Do you have an idea for your project yet?" "No, I'm waiting for inspiration. Waiting for a good idea." "You can't just turn on creativity like a faucet." Faucet, American for tap. "You have to be in the right mood." He says, "What mood is that?" "Last minute panic." Talking about creativity, but anyway. But here he's giving some advice. Let me read through it, and I'll go through some of the vocabulary in bold. So Bill says, "A real job is a job you hate. I designed car ads, advertising, and grocery ads in the windowless basement of a convenience store, and I hated every single minute of the 4.5 million minutes I worked there." I think he's exaggerating. "I tell you all this because it's worth recognizing that there is no such thing as an overnight success, becoming successful suddenly without any effort. The truth is, most of us discover where we are headed when we arrive. It's a good idea to try to enjoy the scenery on the detours." Detour is like when the road is blocked and you have to go a different way. Because you'll probably take a few. You'll take a few. You may have a goal to go somewhere, but actually you have to go this way in life. Drawing comic strips. This is a comic strip. Is here. Sorry. Drawing comic strips. Where are we? Drawing comic strips for 5 years without pay drove home the point that the fun in cartooning wasn't in the money, it was in the work. So he did this job for 5 years of drawing cartoons without getting any money because he enjoyed it, and that he realized money wasn't the most important thing. Selling out is usually more a matter of buying in. Okay, selling out means you are losing your principles and just doing something for the money. He said buying in means doing something that somebody else wants. You buy their product, you buy their dream, buy into their dream. Let's see, he says, sell out and you're really buying into someone else's system of values, rules, and rewards. Creating a life that reflects your values and satisfies your soul is a rare achievement. It's difficult to do. In a culture that relentlessly promotes avarice and excess as the good life. Avarice means selfishness, selfish. Excess means getting more, getting more money, getting a bigger car, getting a bigger house. So in a culture that relentlessly, that always encourages you to be selfish and make more and do more, boys be ambitious, all of that. A person happy doing his own work is usually considered an eccentric, if not a subversive. Eccentric means a little bit strange, a little bit odd, a little bit unusual. And subversive means somebody who goes against the normal things, who doesn't want to do what everybody else wants to do and wants to destroy. It's kind of negative. So if you want to do your own job and don't care about making more, you're considered a little bit strange and maybe dangerous. A person who abandons a career in order to stay home and raise children is considered not to be living up to his potential, as if a job title and salary are the sole measure of human worth. So it's as if that we're encouraged to work harder, and staying home, looking after children, that's not worthwhile, especially for men, maybe for women too. You'll be told in 100 ways, some subtle and some not, to keep climbing. Never be satisfied where you are, who you are, and what you're doing. So you'll be told 100 ways, some subtle. Subtle means not direct, very gentle, you know. Oh, yes, you can stay home and look after children if you want to, but you might be more satisfied earning more money. That's a subtle way of saying, I don't value you unless you have a job, for example. There are a million ways to sell yourself out. There are many ways that you can lose sight of your dream and be too ambitious. And I guarantee you will hear about them. To invent your own life's meaning is not easy, but it's still allowed. And I think you'll be happier for the trouble. So Bill Watterson here is saying, yeah, if you want to be ambitious, that's fine, but that's not the only thing to do. It's not the only way to define your life is how successful you are or what your job is. There may be other things that you are passionate about, or maybe you don't have any passions and you need to find a passion. Well, that's a job too. I mean, that's something you can do with your life. Life is not just about earning more money and getting a bigger car. That's a very small part of life, actually. So he says, I kind of agree. Okay, right. I've got some questions here. Number one, if you didn't have to worry about money, what would you do with your life? If you didn't have to think about earning more money. I don't know. I think I would have a similar life to now. Maybe I'd do more writing, more painting, maybe if I didn't have to think about money. I think I would still work though, do something. I like talking and listening. I don't know, how about you? Number two, is there such a thing as an overnight success? Can you think of any examples? Oops, there's a missing L there. Examples? Overnight success, like, the Beatles suddenly became overnight success. But they didn't really. They worked for 7 years and many years in Hamburg, practicing and getting better. Overnight success. Even some young people or talent, they train for many years. So I don't know if it's true. Can you think of any overnight success, somebody who became successful without any work? I have a pen, Apple pen, but actually he's quite old, so he was successful suddenly, but after many years of trying, I think. But anyway. Okay, number three, what advice would you give to young people beginning their own lives? I mean, young people who are maybe going off to university or starting their first job, beginning their independent life. What advice would you give people? Would you say, be ambitious? Or would you say, don't worry so much, find your own way? Or something else? I don't know. Okay, those are three questions to think about. Okay, thank you very much for your time, and we'll chat about it when I see you next.